Oh, sir poops a lot.
I think we're live, Greg. Thank you for that. As always, it's Matt Johnson here. We are live with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. A very tech difficulty heavy day for us today. We're broadcasting a little bit live. Of course, if you're listening to this after the fact, it doesn't bother you because it's all the same to you. But for our live viewers, we want to apologize. So we persevere. We stuck through the tech issues, and we are here, and we're ready to answer some questions and have some fun. So first of all, the Junior Grandmaster himself, how are you today?
Besides wanting to throat punch technology, not even trying to set up because I'm just so over blue jeans, PCs, Dell computers, and technology bullshit. Yeah, besides that, I'm good, dude. I'm just living the dream, doing what I want to do, hanging with Chu Amigo. And I got a 50-cent refill on my Starbucks.
No, that's
Tastes
great.
good, too.
I'm glad for you. All right, so we've got people watching. We've got Josh, Brian, Brandon, Morenin. What is up, man? Guys, appreciate you watching live. This is going to be a lot of fun, a little bit more of a laid-back episode today. We don't have a bunch of content to pull from. We're going to go take questions from both a lead gen script and objections group, and we're also going to take live questions here, guys. So, Jonathan Kirk, how is it going? Excited for your live broadcast in the LGSO group, doing a great job with those, and hearing good feedback on what you're doing, and then on the coaching underneath Andy Shear, which is also going well. So guys, we really appreciate you watching and hanging out with us today. So we had Roberta Ross on the show on Friday, Greg, and then she had me on this morning on her success interview series, and then you're doing your recording tomorrow. That was a great experience, and we were talking about just the things that I'm learning and implementing right now with the elements of daily success and the 5-book challenge. And so I want to recap a couple of those things. We got a bunch of people watching, guys. So Chris Angel, what is up? Lane Etheridge, good Lord.
Chris Angel, what
Man,
up, homie?
Live. Guys, check out Chris's podcast, Leads to Love, by the way. Great.
Yeah,
we love Chris's approach.
We do love Chris's approach. And Teresa Shoemaker, homegirl, I'm looking at you dead in the mother effing eyes right now. Do your freaking your live broadcast like we talked about. Don't bitch out on me. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh man, we've got Lindsay Soprani's watching as well. Man, a bunch of high-level people with us today. So
love it.
Yeah, so let's talk about this whole 5-book challenge and actually implementing what you learn. What's up?
I bit the inside of my cheek, dude.
Man, this is a banner day for you.
Dude, so Lily and I were driving back from Santa Cruz yesterday. We had a great day down by the water, having some drinks, having some food, just laughing and kicking back and everything. We're talking and laughing on the way back on Highway 17, and I turn around to say something to her. I'm like, just crunch right into my cheek. I'm like, and she's like, "What's wrong with you?" I just stick my finger in my mouth and I pull out my finger. It's all blood. She's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "I know, it's horrible." So every once in a while, I go like this. It hurts. Yeah, it's been a
very sorry for you.
No, you're not. Not one bit. You're not.
No, I don't really care. It's not that I haven't done it so many times myself. Believe me, I sympathize. I don't care. So there's a difference, right? I sympathize. I do not care.
Oh,
all right.
And that's a cool part, man. Dude, all of you guys that don't know this, Matt's going to be a little bit of a renegade for the next couple of months, and his ass is going to come up and hang out with me, and he's going to get himself a place up here in NorCal for a bit. We're going to do podcasts together in one spot. How fucking epic is that?
I was going to say, be careful how hard you hit your desk. Your computer may just collapse into a pile of Lego parts.
Just disintegration. Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. But that's gonna be a lot of fun, guys. So Matt and I are gonna actually be together, in one spot together. We're gonna be able to hang out. I'm gonna take him to San Fran, kind of check out the sights in the city and everything. Anyone who's in the area, Matt and I are open to doing like masterminds together, get together, have some drinks, do some just chilling and talking and eating some chicken wings and stuff like that. So if you're in the neighborhood, homie, hit a brother up. That means call Matt. Let me give his phone number.
Oh, wait.
It's 402.
I don't think that's what we meant by that. No, I'm good. Thank you. Hit up Greg. Oh, my God. Josh Bryan says, any driving down one-way streets the wrong way? Hey, I tried to do it the other day with who was in the car? I think Chris Lockhead was in the car with me the other day. And, I was about to turn left, and he was like, yeah, can't go down that way. They're smarty pants.
No, I
Chris
did.
Angel says, when did you say chicken wings? Yes, we did say chicken wings. I'm
Yes,
not sure why. I don't think that's a San Francisco delicacy. But
yes, it
anyway, we
is. Yes, it
digress.
is. Any bar, it's a delicacy in any bar. Depends on how you like your chicken wings cooked.
Uh,
And Josh Bryan is referencing to the fact when I was with him and his girlfriend going through the city, and yes, I took a major, like a left turn or right turn, right down a one-way street. I'm like, oh fuck, reverse. He'll never let me live that down, especially the black hooker smoking crack in a mini dress on the side of the street in the middle of the day in San Francisco in the Tenderloin. Wow.
wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh, the
interesting.
joys of San Francisco. All right,
Oh,
interesting.
hey, it's the treat that keeps on giving.
I'm sure it is. All right, so here we go. Let's deliver some value here. We've had our we basically had our compensatory 20 minutes of bullshit time because we're on the phone for 20 minutes trying to get this live broadcast to work.
So true.
So we let's skip past all that. So this is from the LGSO group. This is Avi Schneidman. Says, hey guys, just wanted to reach out and get a little advice on the phones. I've recently been making a lot of calls where I get the sellers very intrigued and have great conversation, but for some reason cannot close and get the appointment. What are some of the closes you guys use once you develop good conversation and you feel like timing is right? So Greg, what's your opinion on that?
Well, you actually, Matt, we've talked about this about 1,000 times. You don't close on anything; you always open. So you want to deliver value, and then you ask for the business. So I would love to hear what he's doing. It's obviously his scripting that's in the way of him getting the business, because a lot of people, when they get the client on the phone, like, oh my God, you want to sell your house? You want to buy your house? You want to do something right now? Oh my God. What you have to do, you have to actually slow it down, bring your pace down, and be like, huh, interesting. Okay, so Matt, Julie, you're three obese wood denting babies that hurt your cats. Are you thinking about selling this year?
Wait. The obese babies hurt or herd my cats? Do they herd
Herd,
them like they
herd,
herd them?
they
Okay.
herd them.
Okay.
But my point is, that you slow everything down. Well, Matt and Julie, it's interesting. You guys are thinking about selling this year. Have you guys thought about, where are you guys thinking about going? What's your time frame? Have you talked to anybody? You bring it down to a level where people are comfortable talking because they're expecting you to get hyperactive and start really moving forward, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. When in reality, that needs to be the opposite of what you do. And so when he's saying he can't close, it's not that he can't close, is he's having the conversation he's supposed to be having, but he's doing it the wrong way. So
Right.
Matt, if I was to say to you, Matt, Julie, oh my God, you guys actually want to do something? When do you guys want to do it? We want to do it now? Is it okay if I come over tomorrow? Yeah, today? No, next week? We should come over. I mean, I'll bring cake. Let's do this. Or or if it's like, hey Matt, Julie, I totally understand you guys are going to be doing this. This is a big move for you. What would be the best time for you to come over and meet? Would it be today, tomorrow, next week? What would work best for your schedules? Let's put it down so we can all meet together. So as soon as you can just bring the pressure off of it, because so many people get so excited about it, and they should. I mean, it's an exciting thing. You work so hard to find the client, you find the client, and then you don't want to let them go. And so people need to understand that if the person's going to work with you, they're going to work with you because of the way you interact with them. You can be a door monkey in a first time agent, but as long as you treat them like they want to be treated, they'll stick with you, but don't mistreat them. It's like I always go back to dating, Matt. I always go back to dating because
You are
I
the
mean,
authority.
yeah, no one ever said yes on that ever. But my point is that like, if you see the hot chick at the bar, you don't want to go up to her and be like, hello, hi, I'm Greg. Want to get a drink? Huh? 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 That's what you do as an agent when you harass a prospect. But if you
Mhm.
come up there like the cool dude and you're like, "Sup, sweet thing." So I can't even finish that looking at you. I got a nose
This
pinch
is
at
why
Clifton.
Greg exclusively dates women that he meets through the podcast.
Yes, of course. How else do you date people?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
is there a
that's funny.
world wide web out there you can do some other things with? No, but I mean,
Oh
all
man.
joking aside, I mean, Matt and I are in a little bit of a loopy mood. But I mean, in
Yeah,
all
but it
actuality,
is true. Yes, we
you just
both of
dial it
those things
back.
are true. It's
Yeah,
yes,
gotta play it
we
cool.
are in a loopy mood, and you're right. I've always loved your approach of open with value. It's not about the close. The
No.
close is a symptom. Right. So the problem, like anytime you are, I mean, it's like having the flu. It's like, well, I would like to have the flu but not throw up. Well, good luck with that. So
Hmm.
if you'd like to not throw up, let's try not having the flu. So if you look at your inability to close as a symptom of the problem and not the real problem, then that will lead you upstream towards the rest of the call when you're not connecting, you're not building rapport. And one of the things, Greg, we've noticed just in coaching like internal sales teams is we've noticed that the people that get like the pushback on the appointment, a lot of times they go for the appointment like before they even sell the person on the value of the appointment, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So like once the person like gives away that they have a need, the person goes for the appointment and then tries to explain on the back end what the value is. Well, they've already created the resistance on the other side where they go, "Oh, I'm not ready for an appointment."
Hmm.
Right? Because they haven't even agreed that they need what the appointment is supposed to get them. So one of the things that we work on with people is like following that roadmap, right? So getting them to agree, well, it sounds like, in order to make a really good decision on where you kind of want to go and like how to get there, it sounds like you really need some like real numbers to work with to know like what buyers are willing to pay for your home right now as opposed to, 6 months ago or a year from now. I mean, is that right? Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really do need some real numbers. Well, here's probably the best way to do that. And then you sell them on the appointment, right?
Uh-huh.
Until they've agreed that they need the end result of the appointment, why go in for the kill and try to get them to agree to the appointment? They haven't agreed that they need what you're there to provide. And so I think that's one of the things that will hopefully help people is it's not just about opening them. Yes, you want to open with so much value, but then you want to narrow it down to getting their agreement on needing what you have to provide them in the appointment.
Yeah. Very true. I mean, I was talking with Chalet. She's a buyer and a seller of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I met her, shit, man, like 2+ years ago. I did an evaluation on her home, and being me, I did not do a good job following up with her. But she called me up. She's like, "Hey, Greg, it's Chalet." I'm like, "Hi." She's like, "You don't remember me, but you did an evaluation on my home a number of years ago." And I said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're in Concord." And I remembered her house and everything. And instead of like, because I could smell the fact that because her voice was ticking up, like she was anxious, she wanted to go do something, she wanted to sell, she wanted to buy. But instead of feeding into that, I did the
Mm-hmm.
reverse approach, and I said, interesting. Okay, well, let's take a look at your values. Let's take a look at what you can buy, and I just did those long draws at the end of every
Okay.
conversation. And you know what? We went out on Saturday. I see you laughing, fucker. um,
I am because all I can think about is Family Guy and Brian's girlfriend. Where every sentence ends with an uptick, like it's a question, but not quite a question. Anyway, yeah, we're in a loopy mood today, guys. I
I
think we're
swear.
both running off of about like 2 hours total sleep. I've gotten sleep, but it has not been great sleep. Let's call it that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an interesting last couple of days.
Yeah,
So anyway.
your life is a little interesting at the moment, and my weekend I did not have a lot of sleep at all, and I was telling Lily yesterday. She's like, "Why are you being so weird?" I'm like, "'Cause I'm fucking exhausted."
Mm-hmm.
And then she fed me a beer and 2 shots, and I'm like, "I feel alive again,"
Okay.
and some seafood and coastal environment. But yeah, guys, this is one thing we might want to talk about is taking time for yourself and relaxation. A lot of the people that I know in this business, we push all so hard. On Friday, my father, the Grand Master, calls me up and goes, "Hey, if you haven't left the office yet, would you grab 2 bottles of wine and some other stuff and swing it over to my house because my sister, freaking chick." She didn't tell anybody she was having stomach pains, and she went in and had an emergency surgery on Saturday morning to remove her pancreas or remove something in there up in there.
Okay.
And he couldn't leave, but he when I walked over and when I drove over and saw him, I gave him the bottles of wine. I picked up one for myself because the wine guy at Trader Joe's said it was so good. It's like a spicy red wine for $6, dude. I mean, how do you say no to $6 spicy, really good wine? But he looks at me and goes, Greg, you look really tired. And Eileen, Midori, everyone in my office has been telling me, Greg, you look exhausted. Even when I'm doing my cold calls, everyone's like, Greg, you look exhausted. And I felt myself getting like just it was like eating away at me on the inside. Like I could feel myself starting to shake on the inside. Like I was about ready to give way with like weak knees. And
Okay.
so I took a little bit. I took a little bit of time for myself last week. I took like a half day. I took a little bit of time this weekend, did some stuff, and then I've taken a little bit of time today for myself. But guys, all these questions that you guys have for us, Matt and I have no problem answering for you, and I think that they're good things. But the one thing that you need to understand is that you need to time block your days, time block your activities. You need to take time for yourself, and you need to take time to motherfucking relax. You won't last in this business, and I can guarantee that I will put $100,000 on the fact that if you don't take time for you to relax, you will be out of this business in 2.5 to 3 years. You will
Or
burn
less.
out or
Yeah,
less.
well, here's the deal. I mean, for most agents, their problem is not relaxation and burnout. It's doing enough that would lead to them being burned out. Now, that's, maybe if you have a family and you have two other jobs, that's not the case. But yeah, it's let's talk about time blocking for a little bit because I was poking around in one of the other Facebook groups, and
Mhm.
they're asking kind of, like, hey, buyers agents or newer agents, what topics would you like to see, covered and stuff like that. And of course, a lot of it's the same thing, like scripts. Like, okay, great, more scripts. But scheduling and time blocking came up, and I feel like there's a lot that you and I could both say about that would be genuinely helpful to people
Mhm.
because a lot of this stuff, I mean, it's I was hopefully you guys will I'll share this when the interview comes out. But I was talking about this with Roberta today on her interview, and I feel like that as much training and providing content and all this stuff that we've done, I mean, really, how much of it is a lack of knowledge, Greg? When it comes to agents not being successful
Well,
versus the personal development side.
it's not lack of knowledge. I think it's lack of implementation. The
Yeah,
knowledge
agreed.
is there. I mean, you can listen to 5 or 15 or 20 of our shows, and you'll have more coaching than most agents will get in an entire year. But it's not about the knowledge you have in your head; it's about what you do with the knowledge. I call it. You have shelf assurance instead of self assurance. It's shelf assurance because all those books you've read, all those conferences you've gone to, all those podcasts you've listened to, it's a lot. You feel very fulfilled. You feel that you can go do it, but then you don't ever fucking do it. You literally just sit on it like a hen sits on an egg. And you feel so warm and fuzzy, mental masturbation, like, oh, I did all this great work. But you never fucking go out and do anything with it. Guys, there's so many of you that are going to hear this and it's going to be too late or it's almost going to be too late because you will have you've spun your wheels and you never touched pavement because you're afraid of failure. I was having a conversation with someone this morning. I'm not going to say your name. You know who you are. About the fact that like you're doing this exact same thing right now. All you do is you give yourself excuses, you give yourself outs, you give yourself the ability not to do something out of fear. When in reality, if you had to take that next breath, if you had to have a glass of water, if you had to have a next meal, you'd find or kill your way to that. But you don't do that in this business because you are your own boss. You are your own guiding light. How does that make any sense? Honestly, guys, how does that make any sense? I mean, if you guys are not listening to our podcast and putting what we have to say and the guests what they have to say into action, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously, what the fuck are you doing? You're just jerking yourself off in your head every
Yeah.
single time you listen to an hour of it's like it feels great, but it doesn't do anything for your business. Matt and I are here to help you build your business, build your future, build what you guys can call yours. But we can only do so much. And we're not the God's end say all be all, of anything. We're just a cog in the wheel. We're just here to help the thing go round and round and round and round and round. It's up to you guys if you're going to want to go round and round. And it just kills me, man. The person I was having a conversation with today, Matt, she's a wonderful woman. I talked to her 30 days ago, and I told her to call me back in 30 days. She actually called me back in exactly 30 days. I was totally blown away by that.
Yeah.
But then she gave me every excuse under the sun on why she couldn't achieve something, and I called her out on every single one of them. And she was crying at the end of the phone call, like you usually make most people do, because I'm
I
just
do cry
zero
often
bullshit.
when you call me. Although usually it's just when I see your name come up on the caller ID.
No, he's calling again.
I drop down to my knees in the middle of the street and shout, "No!" Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm laughing my ass off. But in all honesty, I mean, if you guys were actually, if you did half the work that you actually said that you were gonna do, instead of the excuses that you give me and give Matt and give everybody else, do you know how far along in your career you'd be? I mean, time's gonna pass no matter what. It depends on what you're gonna do with it between now and then. Are you going to sit there and just be like, well, I probably should lose those pesky 10 pounds? Or, yeah, I probably should call that person. Or are you going to buck up, Buttercup? Are you going to fucking do the job that you say you want to do? I mean, help me understand why you won't do the work. When my back was against the wall, I didn't have any other options. I had to make the calls, do the doors, do the long fucking hours, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. Why can't you do it? Why not? I mean, every one of us has peaks and we have valleys. We have that nasty little flat line. That's the deadly zone, is the flat line. Because peaks are when you're so high on yourself and what your achievements are. You're like, the world is my oyster. The valleys are the points where like, oh shit, I gotta do something. But that flat line, that middle area where a lot of us live, in that comfort zone, that is where you die. And you will die as an agent and as a part of a human being, because you have to look back with regret saying you didn't accomplish something that you wanted to accomplish because you weren't willing to get up and do what you needed to do. So what's that one thing? Matt, what's that one thing that is going to kick you straight in the gonads to make you go do what you need to do?
I just endured it this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's the one thing. The one thing that that's keeping me from going after the business like I want to. Yeah, and I resolved that.
Yes, that is I was talking about that with a few folks, and they were all asking about, how you're doing. And I said, I think Matt's going to go through something that's very hard, very painful, very difficult. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to be a wonderful thing for him, not because of, what has been lost, but what is going to be gained.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us never look at it that way. We always look in the rearview mirror, but if you ever thought about how small the rearview mirror is versus how large the front window is in your vehicle, but we love that fucking rearview mirror. We love it because that's our safe spot. Behind us is what we know, right?
Right.
That's the Monday morning quarterback going, I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I can control, or I could have controlled, or I should have done. When in reality, you need to be looking forward 100% of the time, going, this is my new journey. This is my new path. This is my new reality. What wonderful things are there to be found? I mean, I do this on a daily basis, and I know, Matt, you're embarking on a new journey, and I'm super pumped that you're doing this, dude, because it means I get to actually hang out with you, motherfucker, and we get to kick it and shit, and I'll make you drink beer. You eat cookies, I'll drink beer. It'll be cool.
I don't know about that. I'm going straight to scotch.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I'm skipping the beer.
Hold on. Oh, yeah, that was a rubber arm right there.
Yep,
that's what
right.
that was. But yet you still have clear liquid in that cup, you pussy.
I do. Well, you don't know it's vodka.
It's not vodka. Not the way you sip that.
No,
I know how you. I know how you drink.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, there's always one thing. I mean, it's not always one thing. It can be a combination of things. But there's always, you can narrow it down to let's say there's one thing that's holding me back right now. This is the biggest thing that needs to be attacked and dealt with. You can deal with the other things later, but figure out what the one biggest thing is, the one biggest limitation. That's a great point from the book Scale by Jeff Hoffman, which is one of the books that I'm gonna like restrict myself to for the next few months.
Mhm.
Is just what's the biggest limiting factor? And for most people, for most agents, and for most entrepreneurs, speakers, consultants, anybody that's building like an independent kind of solopreneur business where they're it, that one thing is almost always not lead generating and specifically not finding the lead generation activities that they really enjoy,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
very much so. I mean, I was doing who was I talking to the other day about the fact like it doesn't, lead gen does not need to be this like bone crushing, soul, melting, environment or process. It can be legitimately fun. But so many people never really think about it like that. Like I always talk about this, and I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
Dude, my homeboys over at Rockstar Connect, dude, they host and help me do events every single month. Guys, this shit is fun. And I get leads every time I do the events. And all I have to do is show up. I pay them $300 a month and I show up and I drink double Jack Daniels neat with a beer and have some food, have some fun. I saw one of my friends, Christy. I haven't seen her, Matt, in 15 years almost.
Yeah.
And she came in, and by the way, I got to connect you with her. I think she'd be really good for us on our website doing advertising and stuff. But anyways, you know, it's just one of these things. I mean, if you guys like to work out, go work out. If you like to go for walks, like I'm starting to do every single day, more than once, go for walks. Wear some shirts. Start being in an environment that you like. Start prospecting that way. I mean, Matt, if you had to do real estate all over again, all over from ground up,
Okay.
what would you do for fun for prospecting? No cold calls, no door knocking, nothing traditional. What would Johnson do besides working at chocolate, cookie factory? What would you do?
Well, I would hit LinkedIn hard, and then I would anoint myself as the business builder and connector for local entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
That's what I'd do. I'd build a referral network of financial advisors, CPAs, attorneys, high-level entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and I would put together a real deal kind of business network community. And then I would connect with people on LinkedIn, get them in my network, do Facebook Lives, and then I'd farm target neighborhoods that are highly populated by those same types of people. So in my case, like
Interesting.
let's say I was starting over again in Omaha,
Hmm.
I would go after the upper end, like upper middle class Omaha neighborhoods, which of course in that area is, 300 to 500,000. Those are above the normal level. They're some of the that's around double the average price. So they'll move slower, but there's enough of them and they don't move. They're not like true luxury. They don't go, it's not like you have to have the home on the market for 6 months and fly in, buyers from China. So it's a nice sweet spot there where these guys, they own concrete companies or they started a CPA firm or they're a lawyer or they're a doctor or they're an executive, they're whatever. Like that's the kind of people that I want to run with. Those are the
Hmm.
guys that I want to serve. I know exactly who my ideal client would be. It would be that, early to, the guys in his 40s, probably dual income household. Kids are, 5 to 15 years old. They care about the school district. They want to move up into a bigger, nicer house because they either have more kids or they need that office space. And it gives me a chance to like work both sides of the deal. Like I know exactly who I'd go out after, and I know exactly how I'd reach them.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. So, guys, I want you to type into the remarks right down there, right on Matt's timeline. Don't go to my timeline. Go to Matt's timeline. Right in there, what you would do. Give us two things that you would do if you were a brand new agent, or if you are rebranding yourself. What are you doing to get your business jump started? So, I think Matt, I think what I am going to do, and I've been thinking a lot about this. I've been, of course, doing my trusty journal, which I didn't do today because I'm a lazy son of a bitch and I need to do it this morning. We'll do it this afternoon. But I'm going to go heavier into live video and not just on Facebook. I'm going to be
Heavier.
doing it. Yeah, heavier, Jackhead. There's your journal. Look
Mm-hmm.
at that.
And it's filled in for today. Look at that. Ooh.
No, you did your job. But I'm gonna do Instagram Live. I'm gonna start doing
Yeah.
Periscope. I'm gonna do Facebook. You guys are
I
gonna be.
have an idea, Greg.
Oh God, don't say it, Matt.
Can I have an idea for you?
You're scaring me already, and I don't know how that's gonna go.
Follow up on your leads.
I am, asshole. I am following my
Are your
leads.
leads watching your live videos?
Well, of course not. They're leads.
Exactly.
But
But
they
they're
are watching my
leads.
viral videos. They're watching my
Well,
viral
that's good
videos.
and that's fine.
Chris
But you
Angel,
have
this is
leads.
my
You have
jam. I love you guys.
leads. You have leads, Greg.
I got
Why would
leads.
you do more live video to a cold audience of people that don't know who you are, or maybe
You've
on
been talking to
Facebook?
Hank.
Granted, the Facebook these people are and no, I've been talking to Frank.
You've been talking to Hank.
No, but seriously, I mean,
So,
like
so this is the reason why.
live video is your comfort zone. Why would you
Right.
do more of the stuff that's in your comfort zone?
So this is why. The reason why I will never stop doing it is because you can never stop plowing the field. You can never stop pushing forward. Now that Eileen is back in, the captain seat over here, running the team, following up with leads and doing all this stuff that she's exceptionally good at. And yes, I am people-centric, not system-centric, what the fuck ever. But she is back and doing her job, and she's loving what she's doing. So you can never stop plowing forward, ever. Stop plowing forward on lead generation. The reason why I'm going to double down, triple down on this stuff is because the more that I do this, the more I have to throw back to the hopper, the more the hopper can then get dripped on by viral marketing, and then we can retarget them on Facebook ads using, Gene Volpe, our evil little ninja bald social media guru. I mean, doing all of that stuff is because if I stop, then my hopper dries up. And people says that, well, I can just use my, social media or my sphere of influence for life, and that's how I'm going to build my business. Yeah, eventually that shit fucking dries up. Okay, that's why I double down. That's why I keep pushing, because there's other spokes in the wheel that can do other jobs that I don't or can't do. So, smack. That's why.
I am not smacked down on that one. Absolutely not. I do not agree with this new course of action at all.
And that's why we're not real estate business partners. That's why we're podcast partners.
So Chris Angel says, I would build a VIP community or program, VIP program for my community built with specials to local businesses. Yeah, great idea. We've talked about that. Greg has his, a couple of coupons. We've showed them on the show a bunch of times. Great idea there. And Chris says, thanks, Matt. It's working great for clients right now. Absolutely. Greg, you mentioned the evil bald ninja, Gene Volpe. He's got a really cool kind of idea / program that you guys might want to check into. He's not it's not like real common knowledge at this point, but he's doing some interesting things with his clients with running a local Facebook group and using that to facilitate and publicize your referral network of business owners that you have. And then there's a great way that you can use that in conjunction with an idea I picked up from another marketing guru, which is when you form that business relationship, that relationship of, with other business leaders, right? So you have this network of business leaders. Dude, review each other. And I can't believe I didn't think about this, but just get everybody together. Like, don't just waste time, giving each other your business cards and, whacking each other off on how many referrals you're going to send each other. Just get online and leave everybody in your networking group a review, right? And this marketing guru that I ran into made the very valid point that for a lot of businesses, now maybe real estate's a little bit different, but depending on where you're at, this might still be true for real estate too, which is that if you can get, let's say, a handful or maybe even 10 Google reviews on you by other people, it will shoot you to the top of local search results. And so if you can facilitate that for the other people in your business referral group, whether they're CPAs, attorneys, financial advisors, plumbers, whatever the case is, like in a lot of those cases, those guys don't have Google reviews, right? So be the leader on that and put something like that together where you say, hey guys, let's at our next referral meeting, everybody bring your laptop. We're going to Starbucks and we're all going to leave each other Google reviews. We're all going to just Google each other. We're just going to Google each other for the whole hour.
I'm going to Google all over your Facebook.
That's right.
This
This is possibly the worst episode ever, and we have
Twitter.
And we have crazy. We just have crazy
Facebook.
Oh my God.
Okay, but no, so another thing, guys, right now on your business page, if you guys are going to do a lot on your business page, you can go and you can record a video for your top main photo up there. You can turn it into a video. So turn it into a 30-second, 45-second commercial on yourself. Ask for the business and then boost that video. Bring people back to your business page so they keep watching it and you keep asking for the reviews. It'll cost you a couple of bucks, but it's not going to really do much, do anything negative for your business. I actually just recorded my video on Friday and I sent it over to Viral and they're going to edit it up and post it up on my page as soon as we're done. I mean, there's just small little hacks, you know, that you can do in your day-to-day life. You go do like I was teasing and kind of taunting one of our listeners and followers, you know, when I was talking today in a very nice, good, fun, and friendly way. Like, why are you not doing Facebook Live? It's 100% free. She's like, I'm scared. I'm like, good, be scared. You know, sit there and tell me that like your pee's running down your leg because you're terrified of what's going to happen. I mean, sit there and stare like a deer in headlights. When the camera comes on, great, own it, but be authentic. Start, because if you don't start, you can never get anywhere with it.
Yeah,
It
this is
drives me
true.
nuts.
This is true.
I tell you
There's a great hero of mine who I encountered years ago, a guy named Peter Daniels. He was a real estate started out as an agent, then broker, then developer, and eventually became very wealthy. He was in Australia. And one of the things that he said is that when he first started doing public speaking, he was so freaked out that he would have to have his wife mix up this thick, gooey concoction,
Oh
like
man, that just sounds
flour
nasty.
and all this stuff that she would mix up this goo, essentially, that he would drink before he left to go to a speaking engagement. He said it was to
Why?
bind my bowels so I didn't have to go to the bathroom when I spoke because I was so terrified. He said then I have to come home and she'd give me a laxative to loosen things back up again. So unless you're that scared, that terrified, and I've done public speaking before, and yeah, it's a little, you know, it's a little,
No, it's
yeah,
not. No,
it's
it's
all right.
not.
You get used to it. But I'm just saying, if you've never done it before, like getting up in front of a Facebook Live is nothing versus getting in front of up in front of 150 people that expect you to deliver something. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason to get a little weak in the knees if you're speaking in front of, 1,000 people or something. If you're taking this out and you're going, hey guys, just a quick market update for you. There's nobody else in the room and it's you and a phone. There's no way you're that terrified.
Yeah, but that's logical from you and me because you and I get on camera literally every single day. We're in front of a camera and lights and a microphone. And for us, it's like it'd be a weird
And you
day
know
if
how
we're not
that
in front of
started?
one.
You know how that started, Greg?
Yeah, viral marketing.
Started. We did a webinar, and then we did 2, and then we did 3, and then the next
I
thing you know, we
know.
have 100 videos.
Well, we did 30 in one day, and then you promptly decided to lose them all.
Well, not that.
Jackass.
I'm talking about the public stuff. I'm talking about the live videos we started doing. Do you remember our first live, our first webinar? It was bad. It was terrible.
Horrible.
Unfortunately, it's still one of our highest rated videos on YouTube. Don't go watch it.
Do not watch Jane
Do not
Wendon.
go watch it.
She's
That's
the
right.
blondie. Do not
That's
watch
right.
Jane Wendon, the blondie. Don't watch it.
Yeah, I still don't want to think about how bad that was.
Oh, dude, talk about
we
my
did it
hair.
anyway.
Holy shit!
Oh God, the
I don't
hair.
know what was going on with me. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
man.
You had a chain that the 80s was as knocking on your front door going, "Can we have our chain back, Matt?" That would be great. We need our look back.
Yeah, that was the last vestige of my rocker days when I used to wear more jewelry than most chicks.
By the way, guys, if you guys are friends with Matt, please go back into his photos and look at his photos when he had long hair down to his shoulders and he was rocking all this jewelry. He has this one great photo of him like posing next to a river, like.
Well, there's next to a river. Oh man,
it's epically awesome. I mean,
yeah,
it will burn your retinas, but it's I mean, the reason we're throwing ourselves underneath the bus a little bit on this is the fact that
you mean I think you mean Greg throwing me under the bus.
Oh no, I made fun of my hair. I made fun of
okay.
how I butchered in our first show was an absolute abortion of a podcast because I didn't know what I was doing. And you just let me run with it because I was paying you at that point to let me do it. and you're like, whatever, stupid. It's your show.
You weren't paying anything. It was free, for God's sake. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a better story if I say that. because
Yeah,
then you're not under the bus. But I mean, I was horrible at it. I had no idea what I was doing, but I kept doing it. Matt and I, what are we, 2.5 years deep into this now? Or
hmm
somewhere around right around that 2.5 year mark. It's become natural.
yeah.
So anything you do over time with repetition becomes natural. Door knocking, cold calling, networking,
But I will say
videos,
this, Greg.
anything else.
We
Okay.
enjoy video.
Yes,
We
this is our
enjoy it.
platform. This is our
Yes.
platform.
And this is where agents make a lot of mistakes, and this is where I love Chris Angel's perspective. This is where I loved what Roberta had to say on the show on Friday, which is that you've got to find something that you love, guys. If this was something that was miserable to do, Greg, how long would we have lasted? Maybe 6 months, maybe a year.
Fuck that shit, dude. Yeah.
But we
Not
wouldn't
long.
have lasted this long. We wouldn't have made
No.
it through the tough times. We wouldn't have made it through month 7 when nobody was watching. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, I mean, you have to legitimately love what you're doing, especially when it comes to prospecting and the way you get business. It's like Chris Angel said, you can't build an entire business off of something you hate to do.
100% agreed. And Chris is
And by the
absolutely
way,
fucking epic.
Stefan says that he loves the photo of me by the river. Thank you, Stefan. I appreciate it. See, a good musician, fellow musician, appreciates my photo by the river.
Adika, do not feed into that. That is a horrific photo.
Stefan, I
But
cannot wait to jam. I am free, and I need to hit the road. And so set up a jam session. I want to jam with Derek Sherinian.
dude, he'll
Set it
do
up.
that. He'll do that in a heartbeat for you. Actually,
Yep,
Matt and
let's do it.
Stefan and I have something. We were working on something for you, specifically. Now that you're free as a bird and fluffy like a kitten, we'll get you out there, and you're gonna be playing with some pretty cool people. But anyways, back to this.
Good, let's do it.
A lot of the times that when people, you don't like what you're doing on a daily basis, therefore you're not seeing results. Like you were saying, Matt, find something that you like to do. If Facebook video or live video or anything that involves this little thing up here called a camera freaks you out, then don't do it. If you're better with your fingers and typing and writing and that's how you communicate, then blog, post things, get articles written for different publications, for different newspapers, for different anything in your area that has to do with anything that you can write about with real estate. If you're better with audio, get on radio stations. If you're better with one-on-one in person, getting body to body, belly to belly, face to face, get your fucking ass out there and start going to networking events or create a networking event or contact Rockstar Connect, and they'll do all the heavy lifting for you for $300 freaking dollars a month, and you can go do it and do all the promotion. Guys, it's fun shit. Oh, that's the great thing about it, Matt. That's the one thing I love about this industry more than anything. We can do whatever we want, the way we want to do it, how, when, and where we want to do it. But people always listen to all these little chattering little voices around them, all these people that are trying to lift them up or tear them down. Majority of the time, tear them down, going, you can't do that. That's not right. Don't do this. That's not going to work. Blah, blah, blah. When in
Yeah, they're like
reality,
monkeys in the cage that don't want the
well,
newest monkey to leap back out.
well, the drunk monkey, yeah, there's a drunk monkey sitting on your shoulder. I told you about crabs, right? Not those kind of crabs, you weirdo.
I was gonna say we have a lot of strange conversations, Greg, but you haven't told me about your crabs. Please elaborate.
Okay, so not crabs in your crotch, you weirdos.
Oh, okay.
But crabs like you eat,
naturally, I
yum,
assumed.
tasty.
Okay.
So when a crabber goes and puts a pot out in the ocean,
Okay.
he'll put crab bait into the pot, drop it down to the bottom of the ocean. The crabs will come over. It's like crab Thanksgiving. Everybody climbs in. It's a fucking party. They got kegs and a DJ up in there. Once the food runs out, all the crabs, and crabs can climb in and out of that cage very, very easily. But if a crab tries to climb out, the other crabs will try to draw it back down. Now, if that crab keeps trying to climb out, they'll break a leg or two to keep that crab in. Now, if that crab keeps trying to climb out, the other crabs will literally kill that crab from it getting out of the pot. Now, why do they do that? And how's that similar to us? Think about your social circle. How many people try to say negative things, try to do negative things to you, discourage you in any way, shape, or form, because they're the crabs in the pot. If you try to get out and better yourself in anywhere in your life, and someone else goes, if that guy or that gal does that, then what does that say about me? And they try to drag you back down to their level because misery loves company. You can never get free of that. So you have to be able to fight through the leg breaking, the negativity, the shit talking, and everything else that's going to come at you. Because if you're going to be truly successful, you've got to deal with a lot of shit. Now, if you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent, what the fuck ever else you are, this is not a political statement. Donald Trump was the complete underdog. Hillary Clinton was the complete total. She was the golden child. She was going to win. Donald Trump put his nose down to the grindstone, and just hustled and ground through everything. Hillary kind of rode the gravy train, going, I'm going to win this thing. He came out on top. He's now been our president for a little while as of this recording, and all the people that have any type of a voice that don't like him are throwing every single thing they could possibly throw at him. Everything. They come after his kids, they come after him, they come after his wife, they come after his businesses, they come after everything. But it's like shooting BB guns at a freight train. You guys need to have that same mentality. You have to give zero fucks about anyone else's opinion about your business and how you go about it. Look, I love him, like him, don't give a shit about Donald being our president. That's fine. It's not about this. It's about mindset. It's about being impenetrable. And when someone says, well, you shouldn't do this, this isn't going to work, be like, whatever, fuck off, douchebag. I'm going to do my thing. I tell Matt that all the time. You know, and
I think you just did when I yelled at you about doing more live video.
I did. I'm a freight train. You're a BB. Just ping.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right off. But I mean,
lead follow up, Greg. Is Eileen doing all of your lead follow up? Is that what you're telling me?
That's how it rolls, dude. How it rolls. No,
sure
but guys, just be impenetrable. Don't allow the naysayers, don't allow the haters, don't allow anything in your life to get in the way between you and your goals. At the end of the day, no one else is paying your bills except for you. You've got to own it. And that once you just understand that,
unless you really then someone might be paying your bills for you. I don't know.
Sugar daddies.
That or your parents, because you have to move back home.
Well, if you do that, at least you're fighting the good fight and you're still moving forward, right? I mean, shit. I mean, I'd rather have your parents be paying your bills as you get back on your feet. Dude, when I went down to $35 down to my name and I had nowhere and nothing to turn to, I stood there and I just fought it out. I had nothing else to do. I gave almost my entire life savings to my father when he didn't have anywhere to go, and I gave him $30,000, which I had $35,000 what I fucking bled for, and I gave it to him in a heartbeat, going, "This is my family. I'll give you everything I have. Just give me $5,000 so I can survive." You know what? But I rebuilt from that. So yeah, if you get knocked down and you're living in your parents' house, or if you're on your last month but you need to hustle and grind, go out and do it. You are the only thing stopping you from your success.
Yeah, that is true.
I've said that so many times, Matt, and it's like people don't get it. It's like so simple, but people don't get it, because if it's so simple, then it can't be real. There has to be a more complicated answer that they can wrap their brains around.
Well, yeah, that's the you see this a lot in information marketing and selling courses and things like that, is that, yeah, people want the solution to be complex, because that's what explains why they're not already there.
Mm-hmm. He gives them justification. It's like, well, because it's this huge, long process. No, motherfucker. Just sit in a damn seat and make some freaking calls. That's how hard it is.
What type of calls, Greg?
Motherfucking calls.
Not what I meant, but okay.
Well, the reason why I'm so amped up on this is because I was listening to, again, the book Go for No, and we have the co-author coming on our show, guys.
Yep.
If you haven't read this book and you're hearing my voice for the first time, first, God bless you, my son. Go in peace, because I will offend you at some time. But go listen to it. I re-listened to this again yesterday when I was driving over to the peninsula and back. There's so many amazing things in that book, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write them all out. I'm really going to take some heavy notes on this stuff because I want to be prepared for that interview. But it's so true. I mean, I find myself even being that salesperson that becomes apathetic, to sales and business and life. You get complacent, and once you become complacent, you start dying. I mean, in the book, on Monday he gets 3 sales calls and he gets 3 sales. Then he basically blows the rest of the week and becomes a douche. And then you watch him understand the mentality shift. Like, we all need to have that kind of that revamp of our brains, like the way we view life, people, circumstances, opportunities that are showing up every single day. Oh, I just hit 10,000 miles or 10,000 steps. How cool. I don't know why, because I've just been moving my hand around a lot. I don't know. But
I'm gonna let that one go.
It's not like that, Johnson, you dirty bird.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But I mean, as soon as we have the opportunity to recognize that we take the blinders off, like Matt, you and I do this all the time because,
Sure.
as everyone knows, this show is sponsored by the Get Now Business program that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? We take the blinders off people's eyes, right?
Right.
So they can actually see what's in front of them. I mean, we all have that aha moment. And when you and I were building that, the one thing you were like, oh my God, this is what I do. And that's the LinkedIn thing that you talked about. And you crush it on LinkedIn, dude. I mean, you just make it rain on there on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of
Yeah, well, that's because I don't know how that's related, but yeah, I mean, I found something that I'm good at, you know what I'm saying? And I invest time into it. But yeah, I mean, it's people they want the solution to be complicated, and when you say it's a simple thing, well, then that makes them upset, and it makes them not buy products either. But when you actually get down to really helping people, it has to be simple because they have to. It's based on actually implementing and actually changing and actually taking action. And the more you can strip your action down to something that's very simple, very concrete, and easy to implement, the better it is for you. So this is something I was talking about. I think it was last Friday. It was before our show with Roberta. I interviewed a guy named Isaac Stegman from Kaizen Coaching on Friday morning, guys, and that's on my Facebook page. You can go back and watch it right now. But he had something very interesting to say. So when they put together events for their super high level like coaching clients, it's kind of like a coaching mastermind group. They don't do like 8 hours of content. It's 1 to an hour and a half, 1 to 1.5 hours of content per day at their group. The rest of it is all just relaxing, doing physical activity, masterminding together, just talking, working on implementation. It's not just, I mean, we get so overloaded on consuming information. And obviously I love everybody that listens to the podcast and listens to all the podcasts that are out there. And that's all great. But man, you've got to just don't lose sight of the fact that this right here, even what you and I are doing, Greg, this is not implementing. We are talking about stuff, and talking about stuff is awesome as long as it leads to action.
Dude, I implement the shit out of stuff, and so do you. This is our opportunity to talk about what we do so that we can be a conduit and a beacon for other people who may have just negative stuff in their life. We can be that beacon of hey guys, look, we fuck up all the time. We're just like you. We have a platform to stand on and we open up the kimono and say, hey, look, this is what and how we do everything. These are the people we're surrounding ourselves with. But it's not that we're not doing it. We're just not doing it at this exact second. There's the difference. We do put shit into action. I mean, dude, I wanted to lose some fucking weight. All right. I was sick and tired of being jiggly McJiggly and not in the right places either. All the wrong places. And yeah, don't go there.
Okay. I'm just going to call you Krispy Kreme.
Can I get Greg double glaze over there, Mr. McDaniel? But you know what? I decided to take I started filling in the holes in my day. So every time I was on a call with either Matt or doing something like that, I wouldn't take it on my office line. I'd take it on my cell phone, and I'll go out and I'll go for walks. Like when I do my coaching calls in the evening times, I'm walking. Dude, I did 122,000 steps last week. I was doing over 20,000 steps almost every single day. And the reason why is because I put my mind to it. I found
a way
to make it happen. A what?
I said it's like a Rockettes rehearsal.
What the fuck are Rockettes?
The dancing line with the girls with the legs and Rockettes. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, that sounds like a rehearsal I'd like to watch.
120,000 steps, Greg. Good. Yeah. So yes, of course we do implement. I'm just saying that this is what we're doing right here. The talking about it is us talking about it, and as long as there's action outside of this, it's great. But this instead of action is not good. Listening to podcasts instead of taking action, reading books instead of taking action, optimize your LinkedIn profile instead of picking up the phone and calling leads, doing live video instead of calling leads or something. And as long as somebody else is making the calls, whatever. If that works, as long as she's making somewhere between 9 and 12 calls, because that's where all the success is, then awesome. If she's actually doing that. But I'm just saying, yeah, it's one of the things that we do have to, we as podcasters have a responsibility to constantly nudge / kick ass and get people to take action rather than just sit back and consume the information, because I don't want to contribute to the problem.
Right. And we talk about self-confidence and shelf confidence. We've talked about this several times. If you just listen to us, guys, and you take no action, first off, fuck you. Go do something. I love you, but I'm going to kick you right in the taint. But you that's shelf confidence. You need to go get self confidence by putting things into action. The reason why Matt and I spend so much time and money doing this is because we want to give to you, but you've got to take it and do something with it. It can't just be one-sided. And I hope you guys understand that, because a lot of the times people get so excited about the fact that they have something to do. Like Matt, I was talking to one of a very good friend of ours who has the same journal, but he asked me on Friday, and I'm not going to reveal who it is, and I really won't. But he's like, hey Greg, I don't know how to get started on identifying my goals and where I want to go. Can you take a photo of what the goals are? And so even people at high levels that are doing extremely well for themselves have mental blocks. So if you see yourself having a mental block, it's okay having a mental block, but work through it. Like even when I wrote down my 3 goals, guys, it took me an entire day to write it down. I honestly couldn't figure it out. I mean, and the funny thing is, Matt and I got back together, right, on Monday, and
Let's clarify what that means.
Oh, back together with not talking over the weekend, not like weird shit. But we were talking about because Matt and I, when we said goodbye on Fridays, for the weekend, we were trying to figure out how to grow the podcast, do a certain couple of things. So I wrote down right here on, yes, that's chicken scratch. Don't laugh at me. It's called Gregism, and it's being used by the federal government as code breaking material. If you can read this, then you are one of us.
Oh man.
But Matt and I came together, and I read kind of what I wanted to get out of these goals. Strangely enough, guys, Matt, I swear to God, we shared a brain that weekend, because he came back with almost exactly the same things that I wanted to accomplish. He wanted to accomplish, and it all started with writing stuff down. Starting. I mean, it's not. It should be viewed as fun. I mean, my favorite book that I've talked about a million times is, Follow Your Passion, Find Your Power by Bob Doyle. I've listened to that book, guys, for 18 months straight, nonstop, over and over and over and over and over and over again in my Denali. And I always got something new out of it. And that's the book that's the follow-up to the Secret, because the Secret does certain things for you, but they don't answer a lot of questions. They don't tell you how to get rid of that little negative, like that little pressure on your chest when you're like, I want to make $1 million, and you feel like that weight on your chest, or you feel that like immediate negative thought. There's the thing called the Sedona method I've talked about a million times. You ask yourself 3 simple questions. Could I release it? Would I release it? When? It's so simplistic, people don't think it works. It works, guys. I do it every day, probably 20 to 50 times a day, to myself about different things in my life. And I've never seen the things that I release come back into my life, but I started to take action, and I did things that I read. That's the story that I'm trying to get to. And is it scary? Hell yeah. I do meridian tapping on different parts of my head. My neighbors look at me. They think I'm waving at them when I'm tapping on my head like this, like trying to release energy. And they're like, hi. I'm like, I'm not waving at you. But I'm not afraid of it.
Yeah.
I own it.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what would you do? What are you going to do right now? Since your life is taking a major shift, you're doing a 180 in life and on multiple different things, which is a beautiful, incredible, wonderful, exciting thing. I'm so pumped for you, dude. What is something you're going to do to change? What is something that you can put into action today that you can do every single day that's different than you've ever done before? Something that you've kind of held back or thought about or whatever else. What's that thing?
The thing is the 6 suppressed elements of daily success, combined with working on the principles from Mark Divine's Unbeatable Mind. So the thing that I feel like has held me back is trying to avoid and really avoiding the sensation of the pain of failure, which has caused my emotional spectrum to shrink, which is why I'm a cold-hearted bastard.
Yes,
and
totally agreed.
Yeah, and so I have to go down deep into the pain, and I have to essentially crack open that hard, crusty shell and allow myself to feel the pain of failure so that I can feel the joy, the exhilaration of success and celebrate success more and get
Mm-hmm.
more specific and intentional and disciplined about having that definite purpose in my mind. And when I start to drift and things and I encounter opposition to that definite purpose, using some of the techniques from Unbeatable Mind to interdict, cut that train of thought off at the source and immediately redirect back towards the positive and what I want in my life rather than allowing myself to drift into focusing on what I don't want, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's one thing when you're contingency planning, like that's fine. Like just saying like, hey, I believe the best thing is going to happen, but let's plan just in case the worst case happens. Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is true, and I didn't really grasp this when I first heard it. But what you focus on expands.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you focus on, you get more of. I'm like, well, like not if that's not your intention. Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, it
like read
is.
Psycho-Cybernetics. What in the mental picture of what you put in your mind and what you allow your mind to dwell on, you will get that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
skiing downhill and focusing on the tree. It's only a matter of time.
You're gonna hit that motherfucker. Look at Sonny Bono.
Mm-hmm.
Just bap, right into the tree.
Yeah.
Actually, he died
So,
at Squaw Valley when I was working there in '97.
oh wow, didn't
Um,
know that. Yeah,
yeah,
so that's what I'm working on. Is I've got some serious personal identity level shit to work out.
and yeah, and we all do. I mean, and it's very true. I mean, a lot of us, I think the funny thing is a lot of us focus on, like you said, the tree, right? The negative thing. I don't want the zit on my nose. I don't want the buyer to not work with me. I don't want the boyfriend or girlfriend to leave me. Well, your verbiage is dictating your future because when you say I don't want, you're telling your subconscious exactly what's going to take place. Instead of saying, "Oh my God, Lord, please, heal John from this critical, devastating, illness that he's been suffering from, and blah blah blah." Well, you're speaking sickness into reality. If you say, you know what, hey, if you're a religious person, or you can just talk to the universe or just whatever else. But if you say, we look forward for the opportunity for John to have a full and complete recovery. We're thankful for the vibrant life that is in his body, and we're thankful for the ability to celebrate multiple years in his company. You're saying the same thing, but you're saying it differently. And that's how people's mindsets either go from dark to light or from light to dark.
Yeah.
And I catch myself doing that a lot in my own personal life, and I immediately flip it around and be like, hold on, you're going to a dark place. Let's
Mm-hmm.
spin that around really quickly. Let's re-say that glass half full, not glass half empty, mindset wise, and
Yeah.
then I go forward. And
Yeah.
it's weird. Like it's like a part of me like doesn't believe it some of the time, but then when you start seeing it into action, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
dude, we have gone way over time here.
Yeah, I think so.
I just
We got
looked down at the
started
clock.
late, so it's probably in the big scheme of things, it's not. But at least on our schedules today, yeah, we've gone way over. Guys, we really, really appreciate. I know this is a different episode. We didn't have a specific agenda for today, but man, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us and all the high level people that we had. Watching and commenting, Chris Angel and Stefan and Heather Windsor, Franklin Jones, Rob St. John. I mean, we've just had some incredible people kind of join in and dip into this live broadcast with us and comment and interact. And we really, 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 really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
Please let us know if there's anything that we can do to bring value to you. I know Chris messaged us and wants to have us on his podcast. I mentioned the title of it, Leads You Love. So we'll work that out. We'll get onto his show. Check out
So much
Roberta
fun.
Ross. She was our guest from Friday. She's interviewing me and Greg for her success series for her coaching clients. Phenomenal coach. So yeah, the podcast has been great for connecting with other incredible people, and we thank you guys for hanging out with us on the show today, and for everyone that's watching and commenting and interacting. Yeah, the message for today is go frickin' implement.
Guys, don't hold back. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, I'm only getting older every single day. So are you guys. Every single day that you don't take action is a day that you're not going to ever see the result. What the fuck was that, Johnson?
It's pointing out the gray hair and my facial hair.
Oh, I thought you were doing like, that's it.
No.
But you guys, you know what? I'm 38 and a half. Matt's 90, going on 20. When in reality, look at yourself. Where are you right now? Are you where you want to be? The answer is probably no. So then sit down and have an honest conversation after this podcast and say, what actions do I need to take place to get where I want to be? And then start taking action. End of story. But this show is sponsored by Get Now Business, guys. Go to getnowbusiness.com. Matt and I will show you. It's a month-long program. We'll show you how to get Now Business within 90 days to get a check in your hands. But you have to do what we say to do in the show and not discount it. If you guys discount it in the class, then, well, that's your own fucking problem. We can't help you. We led you to water. We can't make you drink. But Matt, what is our policy if they don't feel they got value?
Oh, well, that's the best news. It's the double your money back. So we care so much about your success that if you don't feel like you can succeed with the materials that you learn and Get Now Business, we're not just going to refund. I mean, if you want a flat refund, we'll give it to you, but we'd rather put that money towards another coach or trainer's program or course that you feel like does give you the chance to be successful. And on top of that, we'll give you access to our Rockstar Prospecting course with all the recorded classes. Like then there was 3 months that program ran. And so there's a bunch of classes, there's a bunch of bonus materials. That alone is worth just as much as you would pay for Get Now Business. They're each $297. And so not only will we put the money towards another program, but we'll also give you Rockstar Prospecting on top of that. So it's double your money back. So that is the guarantee, because it's not just about like, hey, if you don't like it, we'll give your money back. All right, great. We want you to get into something where you can succeed. So that's the deal.
Yeah, guys, but don't be a douche and take advantage of us. We're doing this because if we didn't bring the value to you, we honestly wouldn't give it back to you. But I mean, if you want to play us, fine. Karma's a bitch, and she'll fucking slap your ass down the road somewhere. But
I don't think that's going to happen. But thank you.
No, no, we bring value, homie. But guys, we love you. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Thank you for letting us rant and rave. If you guys like this, share this with somebody. Tell someone about our show. Help us get more and more exposure. We're here to give back to you because we love you guys. All right, am I gonna do Peace Out Ninja, and then you're gonna hit the click off?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, Peace out, ninjas. We gone.